Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to solve a puzzle with you today because I found this in one of my books and I noticed what a beautiful puzzle it really is, and it has got quite a bit of educational value to it. So I thought that I would talk you through it, even though it's actually a very difficult one. This puzzle comes from a game Tregubov against Lalic, two reasonably well-known grandmasters who had their prime years in the 90s. Lalic more so in the 80s. Let's analyze the position at first about what's really going on here. The first thing that catches the eye is the fact that the black army is not fully developed, and as a direct consequence the back rank is not safely covered. Number two is that this d5 knight is loose. It's not supported, and the bishop is eyeing with it already. So with these two things already set, we are already looking for tactical solutions, and because we religiously believe in my holy trinity, pun intended, checks, captures and threats, we look for those. Now the check doesn't make too much sense, so we look for a capture, and we immediately notice knight takes d6, which appears to make a lot of sense because it makes this knight loose as well, and it opens up the firepower of this bishop, or rather the range of the bishop, all the way to the long diagonal. So queen takes d6 is forced, and after knight takes e5 we arrive at our first junction or conjunction, or not conjunction but juncture point, intersection, whatever. I can take with bishop and queen. They lead to two very nice variations. The easier one is queen takes, where upon rook f8 check wins the queen as well as the knight. Bishop takes is forced, queen takes, and the knight drops. Or the bishop can take, in which case we are about to enter the first very nice variation of this beautiful puzzle. If you would like to solve it yourself, please pause the video here. If not, then continue thinking with me. We agreed that we are continuing and thinking always along the lines of checks, captures and threats. So we look at rook f8. It makes a fair bit of sense because it tempts the queen to take it, so that we can continue with queen e5 check. And after queen g7 we have got a stunningly beautiful mate on the ready with queen e8 check. Queen g8 block is a must, and now bishop takes d5 is the icing on the cake. An absolutely stunning move. White is threatening with queen takes g8 mate as well as bishop f6 mate. I can't take the bishop because I'm pinned, and if I take the queen then bishop f6 checkmate finishes the game. A beautiful variation, really lovely chess by white. And if you ask me whether Tregubov had seen it or not when he played knight takes d6 in this position, I can guarantee you 100% that he calculated this line all the way to the end. And the reason is simple, because it's not hard. And it may sound surprising to some, but in fact it's a very easy variation to calculate with queen takes d6, knight e5, bishop e5, because it's all checks, captures, another capture with a check, blocks, check again, blocks, another capture. Every single move is a forcing move, and as such it's an easy calculation. Now after queen takes d6, knight e5, bishop e5, rook f8 check, the best defense for black would have been king g7, which leads to a remarkably fascinating line. It's really well worth watching. Rook d8 looks like an auto win because the rook is still pinning the bishop whilst attacking the queen and the knight, in fact skewering them. And the queen has to be particularly careful about where it goes because queen takes e5 is also on the cards. But actually black here has a beautiful saving resource in shape of bishop g4, counter-attacking the white queen, so that rook takes d6 now is forced, otherwise the d8 rook drops. Bishop takes e2, and now a very clever move by white. If you want to work out again the rest, I would highly encourage you to do so by yourself. Actually, there is no forced win here. I need to stretch that. There is a far better position that white can force to achieve from here, but that's it. And that starts with rook d7 check. Many players will be greedy here to take it right away, but it's way better to send the king back to the back rank first. King back, bishop takes d5. And here there is a fascinating variation. Obviously white is way better here because the rook is so much more active than the black counterpart, and the black king consequently is far more vulnerable too. But after bishop takes b2, rook takes b7. My internet doesn't like me today. We have this threat of taking the bishop in, doing a discovered attack, which takes me to my next point, that if black plays a random bishop move, let's say bishop e5, then after rook e7, white one wins the game because I'm discovering an attack onto the rook, as well as one onto the bishop. And so as a result, the only move for black that keeps this position alive is actually bishop a1. It is quite remarkable that this is how I can tuck the bishop away. And now if rook b1, then I actually didn't quite check this line, but I'm guessing it must be rook f8 followed by rook. Oh no, it can't be. I wanted to play rook f5, but then rook here. Oh no, that does work. Okay, never mind. So yes, then rook takes rook f5, and because of the two bishops are on, even after rook e1, I just take on g5, and the other bishop is still hanging. Black actually equalizes. So in this position, it's better not to press matters with bishop here, but simply either bring the king closer or just continue building up the position, because both king and rook are very, very, very passive. Now going back to the main variation of the puzzle, in this position after knight takes d6, Lalic actually played bishop g4, and this is where the real business begins. Once again, if you want to, please pause the video and try to work out the solution. Whew. Excuse me. Whoa. But not bad, but actually I really do recommend that. If however you would like to carry on, then just listen carefully. So now our queen is on as well as the knight, so we need to do something very drastic, and anytime you can do something drastic that involves a queen sacrifice, you should do that. I always tell my students, if you're not sacrificing your queen in a line where you are on the attack, you're not trying hard enough. So knight takes e5 is the brilliant continuation, and the idea now is to bring all the white minor pieces against the king. Obviously it's important that we took a piece, we are threatening with a check, and also this is now going to hang very often with a check. Takes was forced, knight check, king g8 and check. Now once again let's calculate together. If the king goes back, that's mate in 1, so capture is forced. Once my computer decides to agree with that. So capture is forced, whereupon we take this one with a check. A really, really cool check to continue or maintain or both the attack. Against which the king can go to here and here, and they are equally bad and both lead to mate. So the game continuation was king h8. If king g7 instead, then we simply go in for the check. King here, check. Here, check. Here, and any rook move on the 7th is actually a mate. A discovered check by the bishop. A beautiful demonstration of the power of the white minor pieces against the black king that was left completely alone. Beautiful line. Rook e7 mate. Well done. And the last variation, if the king had gone to g7 right away, hardly any difference. Actually, sorry, that's the one I showed you. So instead of king h8, then knight check comes in first. Now, I really need to sneeze. Excuse me. Now, the king went to g7. If king g8, then knight h6 check basically transposes into the previous variations. Check, king back, and now the mate is about to come. Knight d8, the last precise move in the game, blocking the back rank. Now that the bishop has moved, the back rank was basically safely guarded, but this very clever discovered check shuts down the rook. The king has to go to the corner, allowing the beautiful rook f8 checkmate, which is how the game concluded. A really awesome puzzle, and I hope that the fact that my internet was a bit laggy and occasionally I couldn't execute moves when I wanted to did not interfere with enjoying and appreciating this beauty. I really highly recommend you to play through the lines again, or rather watch the video again and go through the variations to understand how exactly they worked and how they were linked together, because it's a really awesome attack that started off from a reasonably safe looking position. I mean, 2 knights beautifully placed in the center, but then again the back rank and the weakness of the king decided the battle in a spectacular manner to white's favor. And yeah, this is basically the puzzle that I thought I would share with you today. I think it's a really cool one, and there's a lot to take away from it. So thanks all guys for watching, and I will be back with more soon. Bye.